Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Bella. I'm glad you're here today. I hope you're doing well. And today I'm bringing you guys my 2025 bullet journal setup. This will be a long one, so please get cozy, grab your drinks, get comfortable. This theme that I chose for 2025, it's not very difficult, but it's not too simple. So let's get started. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that I've chosen a notebook that is a traveler's notebook style for my 2025 bullet journal, and this floral pet tape is the star of the show. Now, I got the inspiration from Jessie Curran. If you don't know who she is, just pause me right now and go watch her. I got inspired by her reading journal setup, and I just pre-cut all the flowers so we just can get right in. And let me tell you guys, this is much harder than it looks. The idea is to use the numbers for 2025 as a frame for the florals, but you will see that I struggle a lot, especially I guess is because the GSM of this paper is very low. Like, I think this is regular paper, like 90 GSM, so I don't recommend using a very low GSM paper for this, because when you go in with the X-Acto knife, you end up cutting your paper. Like, there is no way to do not do this because the paper is very thin. And when I was deciding about my bullet journal, I was like, do I make my own? Do I book bind? Do I buy one? What am I gonna do? And I was like, I don't need a very high quality paper or like 160 GSM. I don't do that many paintings and whatnot. But it ended up being very necessary to be like a higher GSM for this case. But well, that's life. We live, we learn. By the way, I'm sorry I have a missing nail. I hope it doesn't bother you as much as it bothers me. But I didn't have my appointment until later that week when I was recording this, and I didn't want to like wait until I had my nails done to film it, because otherwise it would take forever for me to edit and post. So I'm so sorry. You can see how much I'm struggling here. And I feel like besides the paper, my X-Acto knife, like my blade was not new, it was not the best. So I mean, I didn't think about changing it. I don't know what was going on with me, but well, it took me forever because of this. So, but I think it looked, in the end, like the end result looks really good despite everything. So I don't know, what do you guys think? If you look very closely to the paper, you will see that it's not perfect, and then some parts of the numbers, especially on number 5, there are some areas missing a little bit of flower, but guys, that was the best I could do, honestly. This is so hard. I almost regretted it, but this was just the cover page, and I just decided that I was not going to use numbers or letters as frames, so I just like decorated borders of the pages. So on this next page right here, we have the words of the year. Yes, plural. I did this on a short video. I'm going to link it down below for you guys to see. So I'm not going to show you the words right now. I'm going to show you on the flip through. And I managed to spell one of them wrong. I missed a letter. I'm going to show you. And I could not correct it right now because while I'm editing the video right now, I'm not home. So I don't have my journal with me. I cannot correct it to film the correction for you, but you will see what I mean in the end of this video. So I just chose to make a collage because, as I told you, in the process of the cover page, cutting everything, I cut a little bit of this page. So I'm just gluing some papers so we don't see that part that is like cut, if that makes sense. And I also decided to make like a border with the flowers. You will see that I cut the flowers in the middle like this for pretty much every single page in this setup, so I can make like these borders. So that's what I did. You see that I'm gonna glue the craft paper on top. It's not very centered. I should have measured it better, but I like it anyway. Oh gosh, I feel like I have so many mistakes in this setup. I'm so sorry, guys, but at the same time, this is real life, right? Like, journals are not perfect. We are not perfect. We make mistakes, so it is what it is. And I'm gonna show you everything, all of them. And just talking about the words, I chose 4 words, like one for the like overall year, which is success. Like success in every area of my life. Like, why not? Then I divided into categories like fulfillment, which is the one that I misspelled. But I am gonna correct it, I promise you, once I get home. I chose fulfillment for like my personal life, like for myself, my apartment, my cats, my life in general, like personal life in general. Then I chose abundance for my professional and finance life, and then I chose balance for my health. And then on the next page right here, I'm just doing a year at a glance, which is not going to be very useful for me, although I like to see the miniature months all together. But I am going to do a future log next to, like, the next spread is going to be a future log, so there's not much use for this one, but I just didn't want to have an empty page right next to the words of the year. Now moving on to my future log, I'm going to draw these lines to like make the flower borders. I'm going to do this top and bottom, and I don't know what was going on that I didn't think of this before, but I'm going to use 2 spreads, right, for the 12 months. And I should have done a Dutch door, but I don't know what was going on my mind, and I didn't do it, so I'm going to have to repeat the process of the borders and the titles twice, because my brain didn't work. And this was the next morning where I was having my Turkish tea, and you will see that I spilled tea all over my future log. That's so nice. But you guys will see that the lighting in this video changes a lot because I filmed this throughout the course of, like, I don't know, 4 days, a week maybe, I don't remember. So I know the lightings will change a lot, so just bear with me, please. And I decided to make this style of title with like they're not bubble, but I don't know what they're called, like separated letters, whatever, because it's not possible to write on top of the stickers, like the flower stickers. So I feel like this would be a little bit more visible and better to see, so I did this in a few other spreads too. Moving on to my next spread, this is also one inspired by Jessie Curran. This is called Then and Again, and then you choose some categories that you want to like kind of track, and then on January 1st, you write down the things that you're reading, feeling, a goal, whatever it is that you want to track, and then you write them again on December 31st so you can see the then and again of these things that you chose to track. I think compare is the best word to describe it, not track, but anyways, I think you guys can understand what I'm saying here. In any case, she can explain it much better than I can, so I'm gonna link her channel down below. Please go check her out if you don't know who she is already. My next spread, guys, is also one that I didn't do in this video. I'm gonna do it in the next one to talk a little bit more in depth about it and explain a little better, which is going to be my 2025 vision board. So that is why we have an empty page next to the then and again. Moving on to my goals page, I decided to divide this into 4 categories, which are going to be professional, personal, financial, and health. I also have the next page to divide it in quarters, so what goal I want to achieve by the end of a certain quarter. And I also have a space to write the break it down goals, because I feel like sometimes I have bigger goals and I feel like they are very overwhelming, and when I break them down into smaller goals, they feel more achievable. They feel less overwhelming. So I'm going to write down a few ideas of how to break these goals down and how I could achieve them faster and maybe, I don't know, more efficiently. So that's basically the idea. And I feel like every year I have a focus. So 2024 was focused on my financial and professional life, which I'm very happy about. And then I feel like 2025 is going to be focused more on my physical health. One of my goals of 2024 was to go to the gym every single day, and I feel like this goal is unrealistic in my routine because my workflow is insane. I think I have mentioned this in a few videos already, but I have an insane routine, an insane schedule, so going to the gym every single day is not possible. And right now, by the end of the year, I'm feeling very frustrated that I didn't accomplish this goal, but at the same time, I set it in a way that is very unlikely for me to be able to conquer it, you know? So maybe next year I'm going to try to focus on like 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe I'll feel better by the end of the year being able to accomplish that, because every day is insane for me. For me, it's very important to understand when I'm setting unrealistic goals, like this one that I just gave you as an example, because I judge myself and I'm too hard on myself for something that is unrealistic. It doesn't mean that I'm incapable of achieving it. It just means that in my routine, that is unrealistic. Like, it's not that I am not capable or that I'm lazy or something. It's not that, but it takes me a while to understand that and to realize that. And when this happens, I have already judged myself so hard, you know. So it is important for me to understand when I'm setting unrealistic goals, because it's obvious that I'm not going to achieve them if they're unrealistic. So I'm trying to be more realistic about my routine and then treating myself with kindness. So I feel like if you're like me, please do this for yourself. Treat yourself with kindness. Also, guys, I'm sorry that this part of the video is a little bit blurry. I don't know what happened and I just realized it when I was editing. But this part right here, I'm calling wish list, but it's not only a wish list, it's kind of a shopping list as well. It's not only things that I want to buy, but things that I need to buy. And I divided into clothes, things for my cats, things for the house, electronics, some extras, and stationery. The extra part is for things for my job, like dancing shoes or whatever it is for my teaching classes. I don't know, I cannot think of something else for the extras right now besides the shoes, but maybe skirts or things that I need to use for the dancing classes. Moving on to one of my favorite spreads, these are my finances, and let me try to explain what I do. So these are my yearly collections for the finances. I also do financial spreads during my monthly setups, which we'll see in the future videos when I set up the monthlies. But here, what I do is, when I say fixed expenses, I'm tracking these monthly. So every fixed expenses I have each month. So my rent, other bills, health insurance, food, everything that I have to pay, and these are things I cannot live without, right? Leisure, and also my cat's expenses. So all of this, I have it in there, so I can have an idea of how much money I spend, what is the fixed expense I have each month. So then I can later see how much money I make, how much money I spend on the fixed expenses, and then how much money I have left. This is important because the fixed expenses monthly, the ones that I cannot take out or that I cannot live without, I need to see how much money I need for them. So I have a basis for how much money I need to make monthly, how much money I can save, and how much money I have extra to spend however I like during the month. And for the leisure part and the cats part, I have a different table just because I want to see exactly what I'm spending money on. The cats table, you're gonna see it in a minute, but these are not things that I can live without either, because my cats need food and litter and everything. But sometimes I can see what I'm spending money on, if I can change a product, if I can invest in a better product or not. So I like to see them on a table. And the leisure one, I have it because I want to see everything that I have in there. These are things that I can live without. So if I have Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, whatever it is, if I'm not using one of them for more than a month, maybe I'll cancel my subscription. I also have an income there, which is based only on my fixed income from my jobs. But then every month I have some like variable income for example, when I teach a makeup course, or when I do someone's makeup for a show, for a wedding, for whatever reason it is. So these I'm not calculating in this yearly spread. I'm only calculating this every month because this is going to be extra money. If you don't save money, or if you don't have savings plans, I highly recommend you to do so, because that's an investment in yourself. So I'm gonna bring a video talking a little bit more about this, because I have started doing this a few years ago, and I've collected a few tips and tricks on how to understand your expenses, how to understand your finances. And I'm not any expert, but I feel like the things that I'm doing have helped me a lot. So if I can help other people, then that's good. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. So for the last part, we have the savings goals, and you can see that the first table that I have there is a shorter one, which I only have July and December. I'm going to explain it in a minute. And then I have these other two tables that I had to divide into because I need every month and I could not fit all the 12 months in one table, so I divided it in two. So for the first table that you see there, which is July and December, I do this because I work for myself, which means that I don't work for a company that pays me every month, including when I'm on vacation. So it means that if I don't work, I don't get paid. And then we have vacation here in Brazil in July, December, and January. So these months, as I work in a school, I don't get paid because the school is on vacation. So I make these saving goals. So for the first part of the year, the first 6 months, I can save enough money for July and August. And then for the rest of the year, I can save for December and January. And then this part of total fixed expenses, total income, total saved monthly and everything, I'm just going to fill in after the first month of the year, where I'm going to know exactly how much money I have in each category. Moving on to my trackers, I have the year in pixels here. And I have more ideas, but as I'm not using only one journal, I'm going to do the other year in pixels in different journals. So in this one, I only have my steps tracker because, as I said, I'm trying to focus on my physical health. And my doctor said that I need to have 8,000 steps each day. So I'm trying to do this, especially in the months of vacation, which are the months that I am exhausted and I just want to sleep all day. I will not do this. I will force myself to walk at least 8,000 steps every day. Now for my keys, you will see that I use these squares and colored pencils, and I put like 0 to 3,000 steps, 3,000 to 6,000. It should be 3,001 to 6,000 and so on. But well, I didn't do it like this, but I understand what it is. This would be the most correct way, but well, I know what I'm doing here, what I'm using it for, and I know the numbers. So I just have it like this. And then for my YouTube tracker, you will see that I have another one in a future spread, but this one is just for me to track the long videos. So you will see L1, L2 until L5, and S1 until S5. And L means long video, S means short video, and then 1 through 5 are the number of weeks each month. And you'll see that there are some months that I'm just like canceling out a few weeks, which are the months that don't have the 5th week. Then for this bottom section of this page, I wasn't going to do anything because I didn't have anything planned, but I decided to make like a Bujo theme spread just because I had the space. I don't really love doing themes, but I feel like I'm going to use it for like color palettes, if that makes sense. So that's what I have it in there. Moving on to my cat mama spread. So here is where I'm going to track my cat's appointments, medications, and everything. And I need to write it down because I am going to forget. So we have 2 general tables for flea medication, and then we have one that I called worms medication. I searched for the word and it's like vermifuge, vermicide. I'm not really sure if these terms are correct, so I just chose to call it worms medication. And then besides these 2 general tables, I have a table for each of my cats. So the flea medication they have to take every month, so I'm just gonna have a table there with every letter of every month. And then I'm gonna like check the box when I give them the medication. I should have left a space for the date of the month that I gave them the medication, but I'm gonna write it on the side just for me to know exactly the date. And then for the worms medication, I have an entire table as well, but you will see that I have some X's on a few months and then just a few letters of certain months because they don't have to take this medication every month. But it has happened before that I forgot to give them the medication in the correct month. So I decided to have the other spaces where I put the X's, which are the months that they're not supposed to take the medication. Because if I forget, I can check that box, and even though they're not supposed to take it in that month, I can say that I gave them that month, so I can like count 4 months from that point. I hope that makes sense. And I don't know about you guys, but every time I see someone planning things and they say they have pets, especially cats, I would love to see them. So here you have Romeo, my oldest boy. He's almost 2. He's turning 2 on January 25th. He's a Maine Coon. And then you have Dawn, which is my other boy. He's turning 2 on May 7th. He's also a Maine Coon. He's very big, although he doesn't look like in this take, but he's very big. And here's Athena, my girl. She is the one that I adopted. She's not a pure breed Maine Coon, and she's turning 1 in March. And right next to their names on these tables, I wrote the vaccination dates, which I'm gonna fill it in. And because they have to take vaccines once every year, so I'm gonna have the dates of when they took the vaccines in 2024, so I know when I have to take them in 2025. And these tables are for the appointments, so I'm gonna write down what I'm taking them in for, which doctor treated them, and especially because they have health insurance, sometimes I take them to different doctors. So I also want to write down which doctor I like the best and like which doctor I should take them back to, you know? So that's why I have those tables. And as I have an appointment spread for my cats, I have one for me as well, because I definitely need it. So I wrote, before the table of appointments, I wrote to schedule, because these are some doctor appointments that I haven't been, and I feel like at least 10 years, which is very embarrassing, but that's true. So I need to schedule an appointment with some doctors, and then I just have a table in there for me to write down the dates of my appointments, and sometimes see like if I need 6 months between appointments, so I'm gonna have it in there, the date, so I can see when was the last time I went there, and that's pretty much it. Now here's the second YouTube tracker, and this was the first one and only one that I was going to do, but I decided to put the other one on the previous tracker. But this one is the entire tracker, so I'm tracking like how many long videos and short videos I'm posting every month, the number of subscribers, the number of hours watched, and everything. And although these two trackers are very similar, this is more of an overall tracker for everything, and then the other one I'm going to track only the videos, like the posting schedule. And then on this spread, I'm only having space to write YouTube video ideas. So I have one page for long video ideas and another page for short video ideas. That is not actually the schedule, like the posting schedule itself, it's just the ideas. It's like kind of a brainstorming space for the video ideas. And finally, we're getting to the last spread that I'm setting up in this video with you guys, which is my January monthly for like an overview of the month. I'm gonna have a calendar here where I'm gonna try to write every day something that happened in that day. And then on the other page, I'm gonna have like a monthly wrap up with like pictures and everything. So kind of, I want to make like a kind of a memory board, like a memory of the year. So I'm gonna have every month in each spread, like the calendar of the month, and then a page for like the memory board. So guys, this is the final flip through of my 2025 bullet journal setup. On this cover page, you'll see right there on the left side, I'm going to print a Polaroid picture of me on the 1st of January. And then I'm going to print one on December 31st to compare my versions of myself in the first day and the last day of the year. Then you can see here my words of the year with fulfillment missing an N. But I am going to correct that once I have my journal on hand. And as I mentioned, I didn't do the Dutch door for the future log. And then when I was like flipping through, I was like, why the heck not? But well, anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for being here with me so far, of watching the entire video. I really hope you guys are having an amazing end of the year. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. And if you don't, I wish you like a very happy ending of the year and like a very bright start of 2025. Thank you so much for being here with me. Stay tuned for the next videos. I'm going to bring the January setup. I'm going to bring my Mindful Manifesto setup and a few other videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments down below if there's any idea videos you guys want to see. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next.